Okay, let's do it.
All right,
All right,
guys.
top 10 matches of the what? 2010.
Of the
2010 decade
2010
for WWE.
by WWE.
New
First
video
match-
out.
First match is
Number 10, right?
Yes. Oh, excuse me. Number 10. Thank you. Number 10 was Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston, WrestleMania 35.
Bullshit! I'm
Uh,
sorry. I'm sorry. Wait, Julio. I'm sorry. This match was good. Yes, absolutely. It's probably Kofi's best match. It's not Daniel Bryan's best match.
I don't even think it's
top
Kofi
10.
best
I
match.
don't know.
Top 10 matches of the 2010. 10
think-
years.
10 years.
I think what made this match was the fact that the crowd was emotionally, invested in it. It was a big underdog match, and if there was anybody that was able to put Kofi over as good as they did, again, was Daniel Bryan. Was it one of the best matches of the decade? No, maybe one of the most emotional matches.
Even then, I was like, I didn't
Even
cry.
that.
I didn't cry. I didn't cry. I
No,
didn't cry.
If Vic didn't cry, it doesn't count.
No,
And
here's,
I cried
yeah,
for
I guess it
everything.
doesn't
I
count,
cried for
yeah.
everything.
here's the deal for this match, right? I think the reason why this match made the top 10 list was based on the whole Kofi Mania storyline and the fact that it culminated with Kofi Kingston winning the title. This was certainly not Daniel Bryan's best match, and it's not Kofi Kingston's best match. They've worked better matches with other people. I think the only reason why this probably cracked the top 10 was based on the storyline and the transition of.
But that's what I was saying. Yeah, it was
world
based
title
on the
Kofi
story.
Kingston.
Yeah,
Outside of that, no, it certainly wouldn't make my top 10 with all due respect to all parties involved.
Great.
hey, if you remove that it's Kofi's first triumph, he's and not only that, first black champion in God knows how long. Because even within WWE's universe, even The Rock wasn't presented
Not
as a
considered
black
black, yeah.
athlete. He
Yeah.
was presented more Samoan.
As a Samoan.
Yeah, I see
Presented
Rock
as
as
The
a
Rock.
Samoan, even though yes, he's black, it counts. Absolutely. Don't get me wrong. But everyone in wrestling, that Samoan dynasty is so strong that when you think Rock, you think Samoan dynasty, even though he's not legitimately part of that dynasty.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sorry. That match. It's not Daniel Bryan's best match. So how could I possibly?
Yeah.
It's probably not top 5 Daniel Bryan matches.
It was most likely the match of the night because this WrestleMania is very forgettable, at least in my eyes.
Oh, match of the night for
Remember
sure.
much
Match of the
this
night for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Absolutely right.
I would even debate that one. I'd even debate match of the night for that WrestleMania. I'd even debate that.
All right, so I'm sorry,
no,
Chris.
go ahead. Chris,
Chris,
anything?
you got your licks?
Oh yeah. No, I'm good.
Okay.
I was just saying from 10 years, like I guess it's just respect for obviously for Kofi and Daniel. Not far removed from his return, but out of 10 years, I don't know.
Yeah, he gets a little scratchy. I guess I guess what as Vic alluded to, like I guess they're using the story like, the first African American. They're using that. Not that that's not an excuse
Well-
because it's great. It's just, the
No,
fact that
the
this match does
ending-
not belong on this list.
The ending,
ending
is
was
absolutely
great.
beautiful.
Yeah, it was
Beautiful.
great. I thought it was
Xavier
awesome.
Woods crying. Xavier Woods almost made me cry because
Yeah.
he was
You know what?
crying.
What
That
makes
was
it tough
awesome.
is the putting the title as match. Maybe moments.
Yes,
Like that's a
moment.
top
Yeah.
10 moment.
Yeah.
Yes,
without a doubt.
absolutely. Thank you, Chris.
But when
Thank
you
you.
go up
I don't
match,
even want to do this video no more. That's it, man.
That's it. It's time to go home, folks. Now, what's number 9, Julio?
No, number 9. It's a match that unfortunately, you guys are probably gonna go, "What is wrong with you?" I have not seen yet. The very first, yes, I have not seen this match yet, and I have the network, so it's pretty pathetic. The very first meeting of the Shield versus the Wyatt family.
That match was fucking awesome.
that was a hell of a match.
I
Okay.
don't know
Dude, that
where
is
to
so
put it
good.
on the
That match
list.
was so
Okay.
good.
But
Okay,
I lost my mind.
Yeah.
That was
I have
great. That match was great.
I've heard nothing but tremendous things. All 6 guys put in the work, put in
We needed
the
more.
effort. They all work well together. A lot of people saying this online, like during this match, a lot of people were saying that, the indie circuit has finally arrived in the in the big leagues, you know, when this match happened. But yeah, I have not seen this match, but I've heard good things. Obviously, you guys have seen it. Vic, what are your thoughts, man?
Well,
you were the most emotional one here, man.
Let me tell you, I lost my shit. This match becomes a top 10 match so quick, it's hilarious. As soon as those three Wyatts and 3 Shield members look at each other, that's it.
Yeah, it was kind of like it was.
You didn't even have to throw a punch.
Hogan versus Rock.
It's similar, and
It
it
kind
told
of had
me
that feel, that face off.
not only that, but it made you feel like, oh shit, WWE's future is gonna be great because you have these 6 guys. It was hard because Wyatt was the clear leader, but with the Shield there was no clear leader. So you were like, all 3 of these guys might be huge stars, and Bray. You got 4 huge stars coming. They're on the way.
Future world champions, by the way.
And not only that, Shield came first. It was only right for Shield to do the favors. And they did. Wyatt won that match. It was the right decision. Everyone looked good. No one was hurt by this match. And I will never forget it.
All right,
I'm
awesome.
cool with this.
Boom.
I only have the question of what year did this match take place? Was it 2013 or 2014?
2014. February 2014. So my guess is Elimination Chamber pay-per-view.
I don't even know. I just know that when I remember watching that match, and you know, I was living in Pennsylvania at the time, and I remember when I watched that match, it took everything within my constitution to not yell and scream. Yeah, very good, Vic. You know, it took everything within my constitution to not yell and scream when that match was going on because it was so good. The one thing that I do remember about this match, even though it was not the first match that the Shield lost, because the Shield had lost at least one time before on TV, but it was the first time that I felt like the Shield legitimately got beat. And they established the Wyatt family. And the thing about it was that even though Bray Wyatt was the clear leader, the way that they presented Harper and Rowan, they presented them as monsters. And the whole Julio, watch this match. Before you go to sleep tonight, please watch this match.
I'm gonna watch it again.
I will.
It's a little vague in my mind, but I remember going.
I have
nuts.
every right to be yelled at right now.
No, not at all. No, not at all.
Hey,
just
if you were too busy going to a Broadway show and drinking some Merlot, hey, that's on you, baby.
Hey, easy there, big boy. You just
I'm drinking Chardonnay. I'm drinking Chardonnay, not Merlot.
So number 8 right now on this list, it's the last 5-star match by WWE. So we all know what we're talking about. Cena versus Punk, Money in the Bank, 2011. My emotions were just out the door. I was, as everybody else, fucking hooked on this match. I was into it. You guys were into it. The crowd was into it. It was a pro-punk city. If there is, aside from New York and Philly, a legit wrestling crowd, it is Chicago. Jesus H. Christ. What a great match. Great ending. Great story. The continuation.
The build up.
Question. I question, you know, like what they did with Punk afterwards. But other than that, an amazing match. 5-star without a doubt. Vic.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, for me personally, this is my number 1 on this list. I don't remember ever being so hyped, especially like these guys felt like huge stars, and we haven't felt that in such a long time. Punk was so hot, and Cena's always hot. Cena's always
this dude got over. Yo, he got himself super over in a matter of 3 weeks. It's just.
Hey,
it's amazing because
Punk
he
was
just a mid-card guy at that time. He became a legit main eventer in 3 weeks, and he did it all by himself. Because they told him, "Here's a mic, talk," and that was it.
Hey, that boy can talk, and he knows how to put on a great match, and he had the right partner because to me, Cena knows how to put on a great match.
Yeah.
I know his moves look weird. Yeah, his moves look weird. He looks weird during the match, but it's something about the way these matches are put together. And not only that, the fans are into it because they're into him.
That's what made it great.
Whether they admit it or not, Cena, you know, I used to get mad. I hear, let's go Cena, Cena sucks, because that doesn't help anybody. But this was, let's go Cena, CM Punk. And when those moments happen, it is magic.
Yes.
That's what you know.
Yes.
I wish my number
there.
one.
Yeah.
I mean, this match was great. I mean, I remember when I watched it. This is July of 20. We saw it together, July of 2011, and I remember that match. And the one thing that I remember about this match was this is one of the few matches that WWE had produced in a long time that actually had true to life stakes. Because even you know the whole thing about CM Punk's contract expiring and I'm walking out with the WWE title and all this other jazz, those are really high stakes. And WWE did an outstanding job in setting that up because obviously Punk had re-signed with WWE. It was all a matter of, hey, we're not going to tell anybody and just keep the storyline going. To Victor's point about, you know, Cena being a good partner for a lot of wrestlers. Yeah, listen, John Cena's moveset isn't exactly, you know, going to be anybody's number one. You know, it's not a world beater in terms of a moveset. But the thing about Cena is that he's actually he's like a chameleon in the fact that
he gets the job done.
The thing about Cena is that he can mold himself to work and be able to give his opponent the best possible shine, no matter size, no matter moveset, no matter what the other guy's strengths are. Cena's able to position himself in such a way that he can make it work. Is the execution always perfect? Is it always entertaining? No, but that's a matter of personal opinion. This match, however, was outstanding. Tremendous storyline. Punk got all his stuff over on the mic. He was outstanding. The match, and even in the end, where Vince McMahon comes out and he basically gets on the headset and he pulls Alberto Del Rio out. Get Alberto out. He needs to get that Money in the Bank thing. Like, all of those things are just so well done.
That's a nice attention to detail.
And Laurinaitis is just getting knocked out, you know.
I mean, listen, all of those things were great, and Cena being the perfect baby face, you know, not accepting the help from, you know, the evil Mr. McMahon. All of those things. It was just beautiful. The fact that it's number 8, I think, is a little low.
It's a crime.
It's a little low, I think. Let's see what's up on the rest of this list.
Yeah, Chris.
Any thoughts, Chris?
I remember it vaguely, but one thing you never forget is, of course, the build-up to it. And then, of course, the follow-up, what ensued after. But one thing, like, just thinking about it now, this felt like the Montreal screw job all over again. It was like, what the hell's going to happen here? Like, you got the two probably most polarizing guys ever in the middle of the ring. You don't know what's going to happen. And it's some of the stuff we were talking about before, like crossing that borderline of what's real and what's fake. So all of that build up and your mind is just like, holy crap, what's going to happen here? Like, what's really in play here? That's some of the stuff that why we watch. And then, of course, after it made Cena the most polarizing guy of all time, probably because of CM Punk. So, yeah, it had so many implications to what we watch now. It's crazy.
I agree. Next up, guys, number 7, from WrestleMania 28, the Hell in a Cell match between Undertaker and your boy Triple H.
I got no arguments for me.
No arguments for me.
This is a great match. I don't even want to compare it to anything else.
Yeah,
I'm good to go.
This was, you know, a great match, an end of an era.
The GOAT.
Very fit and physical. Yeah. All right. Number 6, another match that I have not seen, haven't had a chance to see. It's Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens at Battleground 2016. So, I don't have anything bad to say about both guys. So I am assuming that this was a very good, entertaining match.
Does anybody remember this match?
I don't
remember.
And that is the problem. That is the problem. This is a great match.
I mean, if it's in there, then it has to be great.
No. It's absolutely great. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn have great chemistry. They've been going at it for I don't know how long, since Ring of Honor.
Decades.
2 decades.
Yeah, decades. But, however, again, it's not memorable. I'm sorry. John Cena has Kevin Owens' best collection of matches. They probably have 3 or 4 matches together better than this, even their first encounter. Yeah, Sami Zayn and KO did more. They did a lot of cool shit. But, you know, Kevin Owens coming out, accepting the United States Open, whatever
U.S.
it
Open
was.
Challenge.
Wow, the NXT champ.
While the
Yep,
I'll
and
never
NXT
forget
champ,
that.
you'll never forget that. And that was a
Nope.
great match and great storytelling. But they had other matches on pay-per-view that were just lights out.
I mean,
Like, I'm sorry.
this
Cena deserves a little credit here.
this goes back to the whole thing I was talking about in past episodes about, when having an entire roster of people who you have to build them up. It's for things like this. See, it's matches like this that you have two guys that work really hard and put on a tremendous performance, and yet we're sitting here saying we don't remember the match because and it's not a matter of they didn't work hard or they phoned it in. No, they had I'd have to watch the match back, but to say that this was one of the top 10 matches of the decade and none of us remember it, that's not an indictment on the performers. I think it's an indictment on how they're presented on television, and they're not presented to be more important than how they should be. Like I said, not everybody's going to be the top guy, because if everybody's a main event, there's no main eventer. So the way that this match, you can put it in that top 10 list, but the way that these guys have been presented in very recently has not been in main events. I know that they're trying to put Kevin Owens in the main event. That's been a little bit of a struggle. I think they're getting it, and he's getting his footing. Sami Zayn now is just, with the, having the Intercontinental title, and they're rebuilding him up now as this swarmy heel. But
he's in a very good
guys,
spot.
the way that these guys were presented when they first arrived to the WWE working in NXT, they were presented as top guys. Kevin Owens as the top flight heel, and Sami Zayn is like the second coming of Ricky Steamboat in terms of like being the babyface, always fighting from underneath. And then somehow when you brought him into the main roster, somehow that did not translate very well, and there have been a lot of starts and stops. If this match made the top 10 of the decade, we should be able to remember it. And the fact that we don't, that's a really bad indictment on the way that those two guys are presented on television.
Great.
You didn't remember this match, right, Chris?
Nah, I don't remember it. But what I do remember, like Lou was mentioning NXT, show these guys some love on NXT.
You remember the NXT matches?
I remember the NXT matches, absolutely.
Yeah, remember the NXT matches? They were great.
And the turn.
Or even
Kevin Owens power bombed him on the apron and laid him out.
And one of Sami Zayn's, if you guys you haven't seen this, I forgot which match it is, but I think it's the first match they worked after KO turns on Sami Zayn in NXT. Sami Zayn's selling is some of the best selling. I thought he was dead.
Yeah.
I thought he had a concussion. I was
KO
like,
looked so big and scary. I wasn't sure how big he was. Just watching
KO looked so
like a monster.
I do remember watching Nakamura and Sami Zayn, and I thought,
oh my god, another one on the list.
Stellar. Yeah.
I
don't think there's any NXT matches on the list, which is fine. They're doing main roster only.
All right.
Really? Where are the rules?
We're down.
I don't know. All right, what number are we up to?
All right, we're up to the top 5 now.
Okay, top five.
Yes. Top 5 of the top 10 matches of the last decade for WWE.
Double.
Number 5 is Ronda Rousey versus Sasha Banks, Royal Rumble.
Oh shit!
I think,
Chris. I'm sorry. Hey, Julio.
Yes.
What's your favorite Ronda Rousey match?
I guess probably I do remember well her debut match. I think that was her
match.
first match by
That
far.
match is better than this match.
With Kurt.
Well,
Yeah, I think she gave
That
her
match
all,
was
but
nuts.
I do remember this match. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't great either. It was good enough. I think it was just it was showing Ronda just going through the 4 horsewoman until Becky got a hold of her and took the title off her. But this match was nothing special. It was good. I do remember being very aggressive, and then Ronda won at the end. She tried to shake her hand, and Sasha just gave her the 4 horsewoman symbol. But yeah, not a match I recommend to nobody.
No, it was a fun match. Absolutely, it was really good. I'm not saying it's a bad match at all. Ronda, most of her matches were pretty good because she's so good. But what about Charlotte against Ronda? That match was much better than
Survivor
this match.
Series.
And even the WrestleMania match with Stephanie and Kurt and Triple H, maybe on a technical level it wasn't as good, but the fans lost their goddamn minds for that match.
Especially when she came out.
And that match stole the show at WrestleMania.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. Those matches are better.
Yeah, I've always considered WrestleMania 34 as being, a pay-per-view that looked great on paper, but it didn't execute.
We were there, Chris.
This match did.
Yeah.
This match did execute.
This match stole the show.
This pay-per-view had a lot of great matches on paper, but I just for some reason I don't remember much about this pay-per-view.
Everyone went nuts.
Everyone went nuts for that match. They executed.
Nope, I didn't expect it.
Oh no, I did. It was. I
didn't expect what I saw.
No,
Yeah.
and the thing was,
Lou, sorry.
No, and I thought the original partner for Ronda Rousey was supposed to be The Rock, but that they weren't able to work it out. So they inserted Kurt Angle in there, and Kurt was great. That match was fantastic. Would I put that in like that top 10 list? I would probably say no, only because I think that they're trying to put like the individual performers when they're highlighting just that one individual performer. Even though that WrestleMania match was better in terms of the crowd reaction and the execution was flawless. I agree with Victor. I would have probably put the match with Charlotte Flair because I think that match at that Survivor Series was technically, I thought was better. It was a better match. I had no problem with the Sasha Banks match. I thought it was fantastic. It's just a matter that if you're weighing a top 10, unfortunately sometimes you have to disqualify. Some things don't, as good as they are, they sometimes don't always make the cut. And I would not have chosen this match. I would have probably chosen the match in Survivor Series with Charlotte Flair. If I was to pick a singular highlight match to put for Ronda Rousey, I would put that one.
Agree. All right, number 4, we have Daniel Bryan versus Triple H at WrestleMania 30.
Bullshit! Jesus Christ! Hey, Julio.
No. Please let me get your take on it, then I'll get mine.
Bullshit! That's my take. That is my fucking take. That match was good.
That match is number 4.
That match was
that's
good.
number 4 now.
But number 4 on this list is not number 4 on Daniel Bryan's list.
Now,
fuck out of here.
The
all
CM
kidding to
John
aside,
Cena is number 8.
Yeah, all kidding aside, personally, this is one of my favorite WrestleMania matches. I really did enjoy this match. I thought they put a big light on Daniel Bryan. They sold his shoulder. Triple H made him look amazing. Put it this way, I put this match as the best opening WrestleMania match since Bret and Owen at WrestleMania 10. I mean, aside from a one-on-one perspective.
I'm okay with that, Julio.
I thought this match was great. I thought the entrance were great. The crowd was really into
the crowd was going
Bryan.
nuts.
So, does this match belong on the list? Probably no, but it will be on my list of my favorite.
Well, wait, Julio, let me ask you before we move on. Was this better than the main event? I'm just asking.
No.
That's what I'm saying. It's not even
match.
better. No, it was a great match.
It was a good match,
This
but
match was
you just
awesome.
don't feel that it belongs in here.
This is the top 10 matches of the entire decade.
The fact
There's a high bar.
Yeah.
And I just think it's funny. I think this is how do we get Triple H on the list? Let's be real. This list, this is a WWE list created by WWE, and I get it. We want to get some people over. Every match can't be a John Cena match because the reality is Daniel Bryan, John Cena, CM Punk can probably take over 8 spots if we're being real. But what about Daniel Bryan versus?
You sure are being real.
Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns at Fastlane. Daniel Bryan versus John Cena at SummerSlam. Daniel Bryan versus CM Punk at Over the Limit. Daniel Bryan versus CM Punk at Money in the Bank. Those are Daniel Bryan's best matches for me personally. This match was great. It wasn't as good as the main event. The storytelling
when
in the
he
main
won
event,
the belts.
Yeah, it's a big and
he won both belts. Send everybody home like this.
Yes, exactly. This list, when you start off with Daniel Bryan against Kofi, okay, so we're taking moments into consideration. So the moment of that main event trumps the opening match.
Yeah.
So what the fuck? What kind of list? Like, what are the rules of this list?
There
Get
are
Triple
none.
H on the list by any means necessary?
Call Vince, man. I
Yeah,
have no
I
clue.
saw it recently on ESPN. They showed it on ESPN. I watched it
Yeah.
again. Watched it when it came out. I thought it was good. I thought it was great. The crowd was
Personally, I
going
liked this
nuts.
match. I was
No,
very
They
everybody
were
liked
super
it.
invested.
Everybody
Everybody
liked
liked
it.
the match.
I thought it was it was great. It told a good story. They did. Daniel Bryan really sold that shoulder injury. You know, Hunter, regardless of what we say about him, like his entrances at WrestleMania are top notch.
But here's
So
here's
that's
No, we all agree that it's a great match.
Lou.
Everyone likes this match.
here's
Don't get me wrong, please.
here's the thing about the match, right? If you were going to put a Triple H match on this list, even though it's technically not better, the match he had with Sting should have been on that list if you were going to feature Triple H. Because the thing is, even though this match with Daniel Bryan was very good, it wasn't as good as the second match that Daniel Bryan had on the same show.
On the same fucking show.
On the same show.
Which is
So
crazy.
That's really what it's about. You know, again, sometimes when you make these lists, you try to, you're trying your best to feature as many people as you can, and you got to discriminate a little bit. And, sometimes there's going to be some bubble spots that, it can go either way. If I wanted to feature Triple H on this list, I would have put his match with Sting just because of all the storytelling and how much history goes into that. And then all the different elements with DX and the NWO and all this other stuff. That match should have been featured and not this one. Because then the conversation we'd be having right now would be a whole lot different.
Yeah, because I wouldn't argue that match because I had a great time. I would have been distracted by the great time I had. What's next, Julio?
All right, number 3 on the list. I'm actually gonna leave it to you three because this is a match I did not watch. Charlotte and Becky from WWE's Evolution pay-per-view, which I had no interest in watching. It did not attract my attention. No offense to all the ladies out there, but yeah, I do not know anything about this match, but apparently it was good because it made the list.
I will say this. There was one day where I actually had a day off from work, and I actually stayed in my TV room, and I actually put on that pay-per-view, and I watched it from beginning to end. And believe it or not, it was actually very good.
Oh, great pay-per-view.
It was very, very good.
I didn't see it. I apologize.
It was very good, even though, like I said, some of the matches seemed to be a little makeshift in nature, but all the girls worked hard and all the matches were good. There was no bad match on the show. Now with Charlotte and Becky Lynch, listen, they've had dozens of matches on TV. Would I have picked that one over some of the others they've had? No. But again, it's highlighting that particular pay-per-view. The match was excellent. But again, I would have picked other matches because I thought other matches that they've had entertained me more. But again, the list is the list. But definitely the WWE Evolution pay-per-view, watch it. It's actually very good.
Awesome.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's an awesome pay-per-view. I had a great time watching it. I have almost no complaints about that pay-per-view, if I remember correctly. And that match was a lot of fun. Charlotte, most of her pay-per-view matches are a lot of fun. She's great.
She has the complete package, man.
No, she's awesome. She's awesome.
Yeah.
She's awesome.
But
this match, it was great, but I don't know if it should be on this list. But it's fine. I don't have any. It's not Charlotte's best match, though. That's my thing. When I look at these lists, if you're gonna tell me that this is Charlotte's best match, I no, because this is gonna be her highest spot on this list.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that this is Charlotte's best match. I don't agree with that at all.
Here's the match.
Charlotte versus Ronda again.
Here's the match, right? You could have had that match with Ronda Rousey, or you could, if you wanted to highlight the whole Charlotte versus Becky Lynch situation, show the match between Charlotte, Becky, and Sasha Banks from WrestleMania 32.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Thank you.
There you go.
That match is better. Absolutely. Chris, do you remember this match?
Vaguely, but yeah, I vaguely remember it. I want to watch it now, though. But just reading Last Woman Standing for the belt, another big, huge moment. First Last Woman Standing match.
That's probably why it's on here.
Another big moment.
It's probably because it was a yeah. some new type of stipulation. But
New wrinkle. It's a new wrinkle. Just another.
before I get to number 2, I just have a quick question to ask everybody. Do you think we'll ever see another all women's pay-per-view? Because I feel one of the reasons why they built this pay-per-view was because they had Ronda. Will there be another one?
They should.
And if there is, will there be in the near future?
Lou, you have thoughts? I mean, I think the pay-per-view is great.
You know, because I feel WWE had the opportunity to break a lot of barriers when it came to women because they have Ronda, you know?
No. They have the women right now without Ronda.
Yeah.
To do an all-women pay-per-view, if they include all brands, it'll be great. It'll be through the roof. It'll be awesome. They will kill it.
Yeah.
However, this is my thing. I'd rather that the women continue to get booked strong and not just Charlotte, not just Bailey, not just Becky and Sasha, not just the 4 horsewomen. Let's add some women, build them up, get some more stars. They got to be as good as those 4, though. So I get WWE by going, okay, but if they're not as good, we can't book them as strong. But let's find these women, right? Like Rhea fucking Ripley could have been one of them, and they fucked it up. They're gonna fix it, I hope.
They didn't mess it up.
To me, they messed it up, but they're gonna fix it. Let's see.
You know,
hot take. I have a hot take.
I
ladies
you
killed
know,
the guys.
Yeah,
they did. No. That match was
That's
great.
not a hot take at all, man.
No.
WrestleMania, the ladies all killed them.
Chris, you weren't here during the discussion, but that match is my favorite in terms of
I won, by the way.
Did you win? Wait, you won what?
Yeah,
that match. Oh, yeah, he picked Charlotte.
On that match, yes, he did.
That match, on a technical level, was fucking perfection. That finish, I don't care if Rhea Ripley will not be back for 3 fucking months. Rhea Ripley has that moment. If you weren't ready to give her that WrestleMania moment, don't fucking book the match. Don't book it if you're not ready for Rhea to have that win. I don't care if she's 23 or whatever the fuck.
In all fairness,
she
lost, but you know she did lose in a good effort.
Yeah.
But you have to admit that the match was good.
The match was not good. The match was great.
Okay, excuse me. I'm sorry. The match was great, and
the match was great. But Julio, if this was AEW, if this was NXT, if this was NWA, if this was Impact, if this was Ring of Honor, then absolutely let Rhea lose to the veteran and let her get her revenge. This is WWE.
I don't have a comment on that one.
This is WWE. They have conditioned us that if you get pushed, you get that strong push, you get that big moment at WrestleMania. If you don't win that fucking match, you are a fucking loser. That's what they taught me. That's what they taught me with Rusev. That's what they taught me with Bray Wyatt. That's what they taught me with what's their name? Nexus?
Oh, that goes way back now.
Every time you have a chance to get an established megastar, you put a young person who's about to be a megastar on the card in WrestleMania, and that big star like Charlotte doesn't need that win, but you do it anyway, you're saying fuck you to that younger talent. They should have never booked it. They should have waited until they were ready for Rhea to win. That's my opinion. I think they can fix it. If Rhea wins the Money in the Bank, then they can fix it.
There's another play here, which is the Wednesday Night Wars.
I don't care about that.
I don't care about that. There is no Wednesday Night War.
That's fake news. I don't want to hear about ratings. If you want better ratings,
I argued that already, man. There's no winning here.
No, you're right.
Let them rant.
Julio.
I'm all fine with it.
Julio,
waiting on number 2 right now.
Julio, you're absolutely right. Why they are doing it, you are absolutely right. That is the reason why they're doing it. What me and Lou are trying to say is that's not the mindset they should have.
Nope.
You should not put a Band-Aid on something. If you want to beat AEW, which you shouldn't even give a fuck, because that's your third brand. Focus on making the best possible show. If you focus on making the best possible show, all of your fans will come. Stop worrying about AEW fans.
That's the problem. Fans. That's Vince. That's Vince.
Absolutely.
I agree with you.
I agree with you. Vince is
Listen,
fucking
I'm
bugging.
not disagreeing with you or Lou. You guys were absolutely right. You know, that last video that we did on that match, you guys were top notch. My only thing was like, at the end of the day, Vince is gonna do what he wants.
Absolutely. Vince is
And
gonna
I
do what
agree
he
with you. I
wants.
agree with you.
It's his company.
Rhea
He do what he wants.
It's his
should have won.
company.
It should have won. No, Rhea should have won, and she still won in a great effort. I mean, the
No,
girl
no. In my eyes,
busted her butt in that match.
I no longer care about Rhea Ripley, and that's unfortunate because they had a chance to make me care.
See,
So they decided that getting a higher rating than AEW for 3
More.
months.
which is
I'd rather
wrong.
Charlotte stay on fucking Raw or SmackDown. Pick one fucking show instead of her working Raw and NXT. Now she is not as special as she was. She's on multiple shows. That's the fucking idea.
I mean,
Like,
really,
no, I don't
listen.
want to see that. That's the fucking idea. We're gonna put her on both shows. So we're doing a brand split for no fucking reason. You're breaking your own rules of your fucking product. There's nothing worse than breaking you established rules in your product, and you break the rules and make the fans feel fucking dumb.
I mean, listen, I've already spoken about this ad nauseum. The only thing that I'll add to this is take a look at what happened when Asuka lost to Charlotte Flair.
Oh,
Right?
oh boy.
Asuka was built.
You forgot to mention that, Vic.
Asuka was built.
Thank God for Luke.
Asuka was built as like the runaway machine in the women's division, basically beating and just taking everybody's lunch for the better part of 2 years. And then she works against Charlotte, works a 50-50 match, and then a match that Charlotte could have easily lost, and you could explain it with like, oh, Asuka's the buzzsaw, and she got to the champion, and then the champion can come back from underneath in a couple of months and then beat Asuka, and then you can have a series of matches with the two of them that can go on for the next year. And what do? They have Asuka tap out. Then Asuka basically cried and said, yeah, poor Asuka. And then what ends up happening, it takes her the better part of 2 years to recoup to where now she's, with the Kabuki Warriors. And even though they're not the champions anymore, but they gave her a new gimmick and they gave her a new persona.
And they're building her up, by the way.
That she's been able to get over, and the WWE has rebuilt her. And that was a 2-year project that was unnecessary because she was already positioned as a top flight star with all the wins she had in NXT, and then when she came to the main roster initially until she got to Charlotte, and then Charlotte beats her, and then it starts and stops. With Rhea Ripley, I'm hoping that doesn't happen, but if WWE's history is any indication, that may be where this goes.
Vic said the same thing.
Yeah.
Vic's right.
Before it hits my bedtime, Julio, what's next?
Okay, number 2, from Money in the Bank of last year, Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles for the Universal Championship. I don't really have much to say. I thought this was a great match as AJ makes everybody look at amazing. This was a good match. I don't really have much to say. I saw this match one time. I don't remember. I do remember being really, really into it. But aside from that, I don't remember much except for the fact that it was a great match. And this was kind of like that starting point where fans really started to turn on Seth because this match, there was a lot of boos for Seth that night.
Hey, Julio, I have something to say about this match. Bullshit!
All right, so let's end this, man, because your bedtime's up.
This match was great. No, this match was great. However, is this AJ Styles' best match? Or are we just trying to squeeze Seth Rollins on the list? AJ Styles versus John Cena from Royal Rumble 2017. Y'all remember that match?
SummerSlam 2016. AJ Styles and John Cena from SummerSlam 2016. How great was that?
Or even better. Oh, what about the fucking triple threat with Seth, Brock, and Cena? That match was fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, I don't know why that match is not in there.
What about Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles from TLC? Like, this is like, why are we killing ourselves trying to squeeze Seth on this list? I know why. Because at the end of the day, everything WWE does, they're trying to keep getting their big stars over or the people that they like, or the people that are in their good graces. So make sure Triple H looks good on this list. Absolutely. Punk, he's not with the company. We don't have to make him look good on this list. Cena, he's part-time. He wrestles twice a year. We don't have to make him look good on this list. But you lose a little bit of credibility because there's better matches out there.
Mm-hmm.
That's my thoughts.
Lou?
In all honesty, when this match is mentioned, just knowing the talents, it's going to be a great match. But I don't remember it.
Okay. There's no more to say.
It's hard to remember.
I'm the same way. I don't remember this match at all.
Hear me out on this, right? The reason why I say this is because these are two guys that are so heavily featured on WWE's programming, and they have so many great matches that sometimes it becomes their standard and their baseline. And the way that you're going to separate the great from the normal with these guys is based on either, high leverage moments or, some really great storyline. It's not going to be necessarily the bell-to-bell stuff, because those guys can basically sleepwalk themselves to great matches. So when this match gets on the list, please tell me the name of this event so that I can go back and actually watch it. Because I would like
Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank. What year? This past year?
2019.
2019.
Are you paying attention or did you fall asleep?
I kind of fell asleep there a little bit.
I might have been sleeping.
I think you woke up when Vic said bullshit.
No, I mean, listen, with those two guys, again, they've had so many just memorable moments and so many great matches. That's why I don't doubt that this match is going to be great with the two talents. Just a matter
I
of
agree. I agree. It's because of the names. Yeah, no, you're right.
No. That match is fucking great. Is that Seth Rollins' best match? Is that AJ Styles' best match? This is number 2 on
WWE. It is.
This is number 2 on the list.
Yes,
come on.
2, yeah.
That's
all right.
I dread what's number 1, man. I really do.
Okay. I'm sure it'll be good. Chris, do you remember this? Do you even remember this match, Chris?
My memory stinks. But I remember being really excited to watch it. So I'm sure we watched it together.
Yeah, we definitely watched it together.
I remember being excited. I'm sure there was some big spots, but yeah, I have to do my due diligence. But
So
one thing that Vic said, a glaring thing that's missing from this list, which I think I'm okay with, is Brock and Roman. Nowhere to be found on this
WrestleMania
list.
31, I agree. That was actually a pretty good match. Their first encounter.
But,
I mean, anyway,
them in general as separate entities or whatever.
Yeah.
So big mentioning.
Brock has had he's had some questionable moments, but he's also had, you know what it is? Based on the discussions we've been having lately, Brock is he delivers at SummerSlam. Maybe that's what it is. But Roman is consistently great.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'd have to look into it, but
Roman puts up good matches.
The Brock match that should have been maybe on this list is that triple threat that I was. That triple threat was so great
from 2015. Yeah.
So great.
Yeah.
So
what's number 1?
Number one, my friend.
And I think you guys will be satisfied. The number 1 match on this list is Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels.
That's a great match.
I 2000.
I was gonna go. Okay, tell me why you don't think this match is on the list? But
No,
anyway,
of course,
you got me. You got me, man.
Of course, that match is on the fucking list. That match
WrestleMania 26, Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker, career versus streak.
Was this in 2010?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Okay. All right.
So
it just barely made it, Lou.
Man. Yeah, that's
the test of time.
Yeah, that's
what else to say about this match?
You're not gonna hear a peep from me.
No, sir.
Until it's time to say goodnight.
I mean,
yeah,
listen,
there's really nothing else to say. But this match was good. Was it better than the first one? Probably not. The only debate on that.
If there's any negative thing that I would say about that match is that it wasn't as good as the one they had the year before.
Hey, but that's 2009, brother.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's the only thing that I could say that's even partly negative. That match was, listen, at that time, you put The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels in the ring together, and it's going to be magic.
It's going to be magic. Yeah.
It's going to be magic. I mean,
magic.
And again, this is where, and this is something that when you take a look at that list, right, that top 10 list, of all the great talents and all the great matches that are in there, when you look at Undertaker and Shawn Michaels as the number one pick, as the number one match of the decade,
That's saying something.
that says something about the fact that those guys at that point of their careers, knowing that both of them were past their primes and they had to find different ways to tell their stories, and the fact that they were able to do it, just an outstanding job of telling their stories. Any wrestler at any level, no matter where they're at, should study those matches and then learn from those two guys, because that right there is a masterclass on how wrestling is done.
Hey, Chris, you're a giant Shawn Michaels mark.
The GOAT.
How did you feel? This is career versus streak, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's correct.
So you probably cried, huh?
I don't remember crying, but I remember just like loving both of them, seeing both of them work. Obviously past their prime. Undertaker was still phenomenal. I don't know how.
That he was
at
having
his
his best
age and his
matches
size.
in that little era.
Yeah, but I just remember really enjoying the entire match. All the spots. Was that when Shawn hit this, or was it even before?
And Undertaker
Yes, sir.
gave him
Come on.
the super tombstone, as I like to call it. I
And-
thought
It was just
Undertaker's knees were going to pop.
And is that Undertaker saying "Stay down, boy," and then
Yeah, he
Shawn
looked at
slaps
him.
him?
He
Yes.
Stay down. Yep.
Yeah.
This is a lot of good shit.
yeah.
Yeah, but I agree with Lou, man. This match going on as the number one match is saying a lot to the product today, possibly. Like, hey, this is what you need to do, and this is where you need to be as far as being a excellent performer.
Well, but here's the thing, right? You're talking about two guys that over the course of,
And these guys were past their prime already.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is you have two guys, 2+ decades in the WWE with mounds of evolutions and evolutions to their characters. But the thing is that when you take a look at both of those guys, they've been able to successfully transition into different, in different eras, and their matches translate so well. Whether it's the late '80s, the '90s, early 2000s. This is 2010. So we're talking now for these guys, it was their fourth decade of being in the ring. So realistically, if I look at all the workers of today, no matter what level you're in, it's a master class for you to learn, because a lot of what they're doing is mostly nuanced, because they can't do the things that they would, athletically speaking, they couldn't do the things that they were able to do in their younger days, but they were able to tell a story and do so in a way that basically takes you on that ride, for that 25, 30 minutes, however long that match went, they had you going. There was never a moment where you're like, oh, this stinks, or oh, whatever. No, it took you on that ride the entire way. And I think that for anybody, especially for all pro wrestlers today, because people, athletically speaking, the wrestlers aesthetically look the best. They're the most athletically inclined that I've ever seen. And yet the one thing that they need to study more is the psychology. Watch matches like this, and it's going to help you understand the psychology of professional wrestling and how it is that you can do a whole bunch without having to do a whole bunch. You can take people on that ride, and you can do a whole bunch of different things. And listen, there are matches that are modern matches, more modern than that have done it successfully. I just think that no matter where you're at in pro wrestling, watch those matches, because those are master classes.
Well, you should definitely watch those matches. But I will say this, Lou. I do truly believe deep down in my heart that there's, especially in WWE, they have some of the, they probably have 40 of the best workers in the world. And what I'm gonna ask WWE, please let these boys go out there and do their fucking thing. Please take the cuffs off them. What does Triple H? I'm sorry, not Triple H. Well, Triple H too, but what does Shawn and Undertaker have in common? They are allowed to do whatever the fuck they want. No one is gonna tell Shawn what to do in a match. No one is gonna tell Taker what to do in a match.
I think the only guy that like still has that, again, like I said, Brock. Brock has
that respect.
Vince, go fuck off. I'm doing what I want to do.
And I think Daniel Bryan is getting Daniel Bryan's doing whatever the fuck he wants. I can tell.
Mhm.
There's
Yeah.
something different about his presentation that is
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, Daniel Bryan has
Yeah,
some
he's
fucking
getting a lot of leeway in his matches.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
you're right.
Daniel
And
Bryan
his
gives you-
story.
I'll give you a quick response to that. There's a reason why. The reason why guys like Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker are kind of allowed to call their own spots and work the matches the way they want to is because they, with all due respect, and I say this to all the workers, because guys like Shawn and Undertaker know what they're doing. Meaning, they know what to do within the context of their characters, and they don't do anything that is going to be perceived as outside of their outside of themselves, outside of their character range. A lot of the wrestlers, the reason why WWE kind of puts some restraints on the talents is mostly because of the fact that some of the things that these guys do, especially when they worked in the indies or before coming to WWE, is that some of those moves could be perceived as dangerous, meaning you can't do it so many times, because the body, it taxes on the body. There's a difference when you're working indie spots where you may not, you're not working a schedule, depending on where you are, you may not work as many matches in a year as you would working for WWE. So they're trying to preserve the talents and keep them fresh. Yes, I know that some guys could
Kind of like what, like toning it down a little bit.
Yeah, like some of the moves that they do that could be dangerous if you screw it up one time. You can mess up an ankle, you could tear out a shoulder, you can do those things. So sometimes that might be where the restraint is, and sometimes it's a matter of teaching those guys a little bit how to work in terms of it's not always it's not always the big high spot that's going to be the ooh and the ah, because you can get that from the audience, but that's not technically working. If you learn how to work, use the psychology and work probably a little more restrained, then once you learn that, then you can start using all your really top athletic moves more judiciously, and they mean a lot more when you do it.
Amen.
Don't
I'm gonna
get
grab
me
balls.
started.
I'm gonna pick your nose. All that shit. man.
Here's the thing, brother. I'm 268 pounds.
It's
That
me.
means that
It's me
the
fighting
booker,
Debo, man.
the booker's gonna make me the top baby face, brother. And
What
you have
year,
a-
Vic?
Not with that promo.
And you have a
Yeah.
body like a young Ted DiBiase. So you're
Not with
gonna
that
be
promo, brother.
you're gonna be a heel, Julio. So that means I'm gonna beat you, baby. I'm gonna win every time, and I'm
You
getting
sound-
strapped.
You don't sound like a good guy, bro.
Ooh, my shoulder hurts. Ah,
Oh man.
That
Work
was
out
too
more,
much.
man.
that
Ah,
was too much
it's a
energy.
comedic
Gym
relief.
more.
We're gonna have
That
to
was
do
too
some
much
more. We're gonna have to
energy.
do some more stabilizing exercises there,
man.
man.
A little more energy, yeah.
Oh,